It's one of the most dangerous jobs for an Iraqi soldier, identifying and defusing unexploded mortars, homemade bombs, and other explosives. The streets of Mosul's old city are littered with such weapons, most of which are buried under houses and buildings destroyed by mortar, artillery, and airstrikes. The sound of explosions regularly rings out as teams detonate the bombs.
We are working hard to dismantle these unexploded bombs, yet many of the displaced who are trying to return home have found explosives in their houses, or their houses were rigged with explosives, or their neighbors' houses rigged instead. So when they report this to us, we have to take action.
On the outskirts of Mosul, which is in Iraq's predominantly Sunni Nineveh province, some of the unexploded devices are brought here to be destroyed. Iraqi officials estimate more than 5,000 civilians were killed in the battle for the city, most of them in U.S. and Iraqi airstrikes, artillery, and mortar attacks targeting ISIL fighters. With no escape route out of Mosul, several 100,000 civilians were trapped as security forces seized control of the city. At a recent meeting, Iraqi military leaders promised Nineveh Provincial Council officials they would remove the unexploded ordnance as quickly as possible so that those displaced in the fighting could return home.
We have agreed to implement a roadmap to prioritize our mission to remove explosive devices as soon as possible from the city. The purpose of removing these explosives is to comply with the orders of the Prime Minister. We want to facilitate the return of the displaced people and bring back stability across liberated areas.
According to the United Nations, most of the explosives are buried under an estimated 11 metric tons of rubble. UN experts say removing the devices will likely take many years. The U.S. government has promised to provide loans and loan guarantees to American companies to help reconstruct Mosul, but won't provide any direct funding for the $88 billion Iraq says it needs to rebuild the city and others like it, meaning it'll likely take a long time for any form of normalcy to return here. Imtiaz, Tyab, Al Jazeera.